Good morning, it's April 30th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Some years ago, Michael Fox starred in a trilogy of movies about going forward in time and backward in time. Today, the voting public is looking at the presidential election facing them in November and trying to decide if, as a nation, we're going back in time or moving forward. Yesterday, I talked about the multiple legal trials that the presumptive Republican nominee, Donald Trump, is fighting on several fronts. Democrats had hoped to use these legal woes as a cudgel to beat Trump and turn the voting public against him. So far, it's failed, and Trump has portrayed himself as the victim of a double-standard justice system controlled by partisan Democrats. Well, CNN is out with some new polling data that should be the scariest numbers viewed by the Biden team. Let's face it, CNN is not a conservative outlet. Trump has been the villain in their play, and Biden is the hero that comes in to save the day. Biden will be the only one to save the pretty maiden, the United States, who is tied up on the railroad track. And this has been their campaign theme, as they say the election is about saving democracy. But as they say in the movies, something happened along the way to the church. The public's not buying what the Biden team is selling. Instead of wanting a second term by Joe Biden, the polling numbers are suggesting that they are looking backwards in time and viewing Trump's presidency in a new light. More than half, 55%, of all Americans say they see Trump's presidency as a success, while 44% see it as a failure. That contrasts with a survey taken just before Trump left office, when 55% of voters considered his presidency a failure. Regarding Biden's presidency so far, 61% say it's a failure, while 39% see it as successful. This is significant because Biden has constantly barraged Trump, blaming him for every problem in the country. It's never Joe's fault, and he needs a scapegoat. But I suspect the public's starting to see through that facade, and as Harry Truman used to say, the buck stops here. Joe Biden has to start owning his own mistakes, and by blaming someone else, he only looks like a 3-year-old pointing at their sibling when mom asks who spilled the milk on the floor. The Trump has capitalized on the repeated failures of Biden's presidency. On Friday, Trump said, quote, "The economy's falling apart now. Now we're seeing very little growth. It's going to get worse. Oil prices are going up, and have the colleges' campuses all over closed down, our country's going to hell," end quote. Typical Trump hyperbole. Inflation is lower than its peak, but it's still higher than when Trump was in office. And with voters weary of high prices, it's one of the former president's most fruitful lines of attack. Biden's approval rating on the economy is 34% in the CNN poll, and on inflation it's even worse at 29%. And voters say economic concerns are more important to their choice in this election than they were in the previous two. The CNN poll put Trump up by 6 points, 49 to 43, in a nationwide poll. And that's startling because normally that's where Biden would have a lead, based on the large blue states. And it's hard to dismiss these numbers because the Harvard-Harris poll put Trump up by 4 points, and when you throw in Kennedy, Stein, and West, it jumps to 7 points. And the news is not any better for Biden in the key swing states, the states that are going to actually decide the election. In Wisconsin, Trump's up 4 points. Georgia has Trump up by 6 points. Arizona has Trump leading by 7 points. And in North Carolina, Trump has gone up by double digits with 10 points. And Nevada, normally a reliable blue state, has Trump up by 8 points. Pennsylvania, pretty much a close seat though, has Trump up by 1 point. Only in Michigan is the outlier with Biden up 2 points. Biden is struggling to find something that will resonate with the public. He trotted out his Bidenomics theme, once again plagiarizing an idea from Ronald Reagan with his Reaganomics. And unfortunately for him, the numbers have not made that a good idea. Inflation peaked at just over 9%, and gas prices were close to $5 across the nation. They started to come down, and Biden attributed that to his economic agenda. But then things changed, and once again inflation started to tick upwards, if only a couple of percentage points a month, and the gas is now averaging close to $4 a gallon around the nation. Mortgage interest rates are again above 7%, and the public's not looking kindly on Bidenomics. Republicans, even those like me, are becoming resigned to the fact that Trump is our candidate, and we will pull the lever or mark the ballot next to his name. The stakes are just too high to ignore the direction that Biden and his fellow progressives want to take the country. The issues are too important to get caught up in personality issues and lose sight of the policies that will move us forward. Trump is certainly an imperfect candidate and has major personal flaws, but if he's able to control the border, cut government spending, reestablish the United States as a nation that our enemies have to fear, then absent any other real alternative, he becomes the choice, and in the end, I have to hope he prevails. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.